This episode of the John LeBang Show is brought to you by Banger for President 2016.
Yeah, when the two-party system leaves you feeling ill deep down, then you only have one option. Vote for none of the above, man, or else you'll get the runs.
Banger 2016.
I'm John LeBang, and I approve this message. The John LeBang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Worldwide and out to the greater universe, you're listening to the John LeBang Show.
Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to this week's second hour of the John LeBang Show. If you missed the first hour, we covered a great deal of things relating to the election, Hillary Clinton, and the recently reopened FBI investigation into the presumptive presidential candidate here. I mean, shouldn't be even allowed to be president if you're under an FBI investigation. I mean, maybe that's just me. I'm not really sure about that. But we covered in the first hour everything from the Project Veritas videos, where it was shown to the whole world that people involved with the Hillary Clinton campaign incited riots and violence at Donald Trump rallies where people got hurt. There's no question about that. These videos have been put out for everybody to see, and if you're not paying attention, if you don't want to hear this information because it might damage your opinion on the candidate you want to vote for, then I don't know if you should be voting, really. We're supposed to be doing what's best for the country, not what's best for the party. That's my opinion. And Hillary Clinton is definitely not the one who's best for the country. Unless you believe war with Russia is what's best for the United States. Unless you think continued wars in the Middle East, toppling Syria, and maybe in the future trying to topple a nuclear-powered Iran. If you think that's in the best interest of the United States, then maybe you'd want to vote for Hillary. I could understand that. We also discussed how Bernie Sanders was completely ripped off during the primaries. The emails from WikiLeaks prove that Hillary Clinton and her little buddies, her cohorts in all of this tomfoolery, rigged the election against Bernie Sanders, stole the election away, or at least the primary, the candidacy, stole the candidacy away from Bernie Sanders. And how this election would be so much different if it was Bernie versus Donald Trump. One thing you gotta say, looks like Donald Trump won the Republican primary fair and square. Can't say that about Hillary. There are way too many incidents that prove otherwise. The Hillary Clinton campaign, revealed by the WikiLeaks documents, the emails that WikiLeaks put out to the whole world, prove without a shadow of a doubt that the Hillary Clinton campaign, along with her cohorts, rigged the election, rigged the primaries against Bernie Sanders. right there and then, all you people who supported Bernie ahead of Hillary, you were all ripped off. And if you were going to vote for Hillary Clinton, what does that say about you? That you know the primaries were stolen from you, and you're going to put your good name behind the candidate that stole it. We also discussed how the new Anthony Weiner revelations with his texting has linked Hillary Clinton, which has prompted the FBI to reopen the investigation into Hillary Clinton. They don't normally just do that for no reason, because Comey, it wasn't back but in the summer, so it wasn't that long ago when Comey was saying, hey, you know what? We found nothing credible that Hillary was trying to do something devious. Apparently now they found something. It may be something as simple as they told the FBI that all the devices that they declared were the only devices that had connections between Hillary and the rest of the world. And they didn't include Mr. Weiner's device in the declaration to the FBI. And now that the FBI has found out that that wasn't true, now we're just gonna reopen the investigation. My only worry about this whole thing is that they're gonna reopen the investigation and go, oh well, it was really nothing. She didn't mean to lie to us. She didn't mean to. She just forgot. You know, she is an old lady and her brain ain't where it used to be. So she just forgot that she was sexting or other things with Anthony Weiner. Maybe Huma was sexting with Anthony and then she was sexting with Hillary. You know, you don't know these things, right? So let's see, what else did we find out in all these WikiLeaks, these documents that they released recently? We found out that George Soros gave $90 million plus to the Black Lives Matter group there. The ones that have also incited violence, also have been involved with burning down cities. People have lost property due to this group. And we find out now that George Soros, the great philanthropist of the left there, the guy who supposedly evaded persecution from the Nazis, he's out there fomenting violence, paying for it to the tune of $90 million. $90 million. Now think about all the people who were involved with causing the riots, the people behind it, the people who actually did it. $90 million to those people is a great deal of money. To George Soros, that's nothing. He's a billionaire. $90 million. What is that, right? Nothing. He might be a trillionaire for all we know. I don't know. But he's got multiple billions of dollars. 90 million isn't going to be anything. That's like our government. You know, people complain about $90 million in the government. That's nothing. We're taking in trillions and trillions of dollars. I don't know what the number is. I could make up some number. I don't know what it is. Trillion, that's with a T, not even a B. And you got the M. People complain about the M. Or the thousands. Oh yeah, we can fix up thousands. Yeah. We got a big old government that is way out of hand. It takes in way too much money and it spends money stupidly because it has way too much money to operate. Barry's taken in more money than ever before. all his taxes and his regulations and all these fees that have been added in since Barry took over. He's taken in record numbers, and Hillary Clinton wants to increase those taxes, so they want to take in even more money to the government for whatever reason. The government needs more money. The government apparently can't live without your money, but you can live without your money. I'm not sure if you understand that. The government cannot live without your money, but you can. You can live without your money. So get used to it. If Hillary Clinton wins, whatever these grand taxes that we've been paying since President Pink Panther has been in office, they're just going to go up. If that's what you want, America, and the people who don't pay the taxes and the people who suck off the system, why would they care? And the rich people at the top who don't pay any income tax at all because all their money is either offshored or it's some other way they get money, they don't pay taxes either. The corporations really don't pay taxes because every time you increase the taxes on the corporations, all they do is pass down those taxes through their goods and services. So who ends up paying the taxes? Well, it's the consumer who pays the taxes. So inevitably and finally, the consumer and the worker are the only two classes that actually pay taxes. And the owner could be considered that too. The owner. If you own some land, you've got to pay these stupid property taxes for umpteen millions of years until you're gone. The people after you got to pay them. The people after that got to pay them. You think that with all these taxes, something would be paid off by now. But apparently it's not paid off. And Hillary Clinton wants to take more from you because that's a great idea. She has no problem giving it to refugees because how do you think these refugees live? They don't just magically come here with lots of money. If they had money, they wouldn't be refugees, now would they? So these refugees are coming to the United States. They're taking your money you've been taxed. The government takes more money than it ever has before. And what does it do with it? Because it has so much of this money, it just hands it out to people because that's what it can do, because it has too much money. That's right. The government has way too much money. And because it has too much money, it has ideas of giving it out to everybody. People that don't deserve it. I mean, if we just take out the Americans and we say, okay, if the Americans deserve it, the poor Americans deserve it, that's fine. We can figure a way for that. But no, who else deserves it according to Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and people of their ilk? The people that are coming in, the refugees from foreign countries, people who are just coming here illegally through the borders, they are allowed to have your money. You're not. You're not entitled to all that work you do. Not at all. And this is what we're going to expect to have with Hillary Clinton. More of the same, probably at a much worse rate, because if we look at it, George Bush came in and did his thing. Barack Obama topped that. Barack Obama said, I can't let GW do better than me, so I got to top GW. And now we got Hillary Clinton, she's the biggest narcissist of the entire human race right now, probably ever. She's going to go, well, I can't let these men top me. I can't let my husband top me. Maybe she's going to buy stock in a cigar company. She won't have to buy stock. All she'll have to do is send the government in and take it for her. So we got proof that George Soros funded riots, funded the BLM who caused riots. How's that? Is that better? You know, I don't want to piss people off because they can't handle the way I word things. We also see that Hillary Clinton and her campaign, along with her super PACs and all that crap, those people funded people to go start trouble at Donald Trump rallies. So we've got the Democrats and George Soros not only causing trouble at the Donald Trump rallies, but they're affecting the police now because the police are in danger. Police in Dallas, remember them, they got shot. Police are in danger now because people like the BLM are flipping out and making people crazy. And George Soros is funding this stuff. And Hillary Clinton and the Democrats are also funding this type of thing. But it's okay to you people who are voting for the Democrats, isn't it? You people who saw Bernie Sanders got ripped off. He got the entire presidential primary for the Democrat Party ripped away from him because Hillary Clinton rigged it against him. She cheated. And you're still going to vote for Hillary, aren't you? Because you can't skip away from the D. Oh, no. Donald Trump's so bad. We know nothing about how Donald Trump is going to run anything. He is an unknown, but he's so bad. He's so bad because he's some kind of womanizer and some misogynist. He's so bad. I mean, let's not forget that Hillary Clinton's husband is probably the biggest womanizer on the face of the earth. So we got the biggest liar, the biggest narcissistic person running for president, and her husband is the biggest sex fiend on the face of the freako on the face of the planet. Then we got Anthony Spank My Wiener gonna be visiting the White House because Uma is Hillary's top aide, and she's not just gonna fire Uma because Anthony likes to play with his wiener.
Remember, you kept sucking on.
And you on the Democrat side are gonna vote for Hillary, knowing all that. You have a pretty decent candidate in the Green Party, Miss Stein over there. She seems to be level-headed. And if you want your progressive ways, why don't you put your vote behind her? I remember how you guys clamored against the establishment, and that's why you voted for Obama, because you thought he was anti-establishment. Yeah, you found out wrong there, didn't you? But you guys have been clamoring for years, since the George Bush days, about the anti-establishment. Aren't you the guys, the people, the Wall Street people? Aren't you guys out there fighting against the establishment? Then why are you voting for Hillary Clinton? Put your vote behind Jill Stein if you're going to do something. Actually do something meaningful. All you're going to do with Hillary Clinton is deny a chance to take out the establishment. This is it, folks. We're in that kind of election. We have a choice between the establishment and the non-establishment. There are 3 candidates that are non-establishment as far as I can tell right now. And I'm talking about not the machine. Hillary Clinton is the machine. It's the same machine that George Bush was a part of, and the same machine that everybody thought Barry wasn't a part of, but he was. We found that out after all these years. Donald Trump might be part of the machine. We're not sure. But he's getting the people behind him who want to be free of the machine. Maybe they're being duped. Maybe they're not. Then you have the Libertarian candidate, Johnson, and you have the Green Party candidate, Stein. None of those two seem to actually be part of the establishment. So you have 3 candidates to choose from. And you're going to pick, you Democrats who hate the establishment, are going to pick the only establishment 100% sure, non-biased, 100% sure, no questions asked, establishment.
Don't touch that dial. The John LeBang Show will be right back.
You can bet on it, man.
Ladies, it doesn't matter if it's morning, noon, or night. Whether you've worked all day or you just woke up. If you've got the thirst, just wet your lips on a BJ. BJ beer, brewed right here in the great state of Michigan. Who wants a BJ?
Well, it's that time of year again. The temperatures are dropping, and so are the leaves. And they're clogging up your gutters. Now, I know you don't want to go up there and do that yourself, so why don't you call John? He's running a fall special right now. $95 to clean out your gutters on a 1-story house. So get those gutters clean before winter comes, and then some real damage happens. Look him up on Facebook. John's Gutter Cleaning. Leave it up to him. You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
It's better than some Thai stick, man.
Yes, and I bet you're loving it.
Hey, pass that over.
Some other things that have come up in these WikiLeaks releases is the fact that the Hillary Clinton campaign and the mainstream media have been colluding together. I know you're not paying attention to this because unless WikiLeaks releases something against a Republican, you don't want to pay attention to it. But we have the Hillary Clinton campaign colluding with the media. More stuff that's being released. This stuff is endless. And why wouldn't there be controversy around Hillary Clinton? She has been around controversy her entire political career. From Watergate, right through Whitewater, all the way through all the other scandals through Hillary there. She was part of the let's go to war in Iraq. Even before that, she talked about WMDs. You just seem to not have a good memory. You seem to forget these things. Either that or you just don't care. As long as the Democrats are in office, you don't care. And I haven't seen a Democrat I would even vote for. Not one of them as good as Jill Stein over there at the Green Party. She's actually a decent candidate for people who believe in the things she believes in. People who support the things she supports. She's a way better candidate than Hillary Clinton. But you gotta vote for Hillary, right? It totally kills me. I'm not a supporter of Trump, but you hear all these BS allegations of what Trump did with this woman and that woman and blah, blah, blah. The FBI has an investigation on Anthony Weiner over his allegations. Bill Clinton was impeached over his allegations. Bill Clinton lied to the American people. It's been proven a million times Hillary Clinton is the greatest liar on the face of the earth. And again, you're going to vote for her. Makes no sense. We're always told that the people on the left there are the ones with the intellectual minds, and they're the ones who are the greater thinkers. Well, you're not thinking now. Hillary Clinton is going to put us into war with Russia if Obama doesn't set it off beforehand. And if they're going to lose the election, he just might. We just had really close contact with our fighters and the Russian fighters over Syria. It's getting hot, folks. It's getting very dangerous. One shot, one little mistake, and we could set off a war. And is Syria worth it, really? We're trying to topple Assad. Russia's trying to keep Assad in power by taking out ISIS. By taking out ISIS. What does that say about Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton's policies in Syria? They have the same motives as ISIS, and that is to eliminate Assad. And it's going to cause a war, or potentially cause a war with Russia? And that's the person. You peace-loving people on the left there. You people who claim you want peace. You're going to put the person who's going to drag us into war. And why would I believe you wouldn't? You put B.O. in there. B.O. who was Mr. Peace Prize, you give him Peace Prize. And what does he do? He outdoes George Bush in the bombing factor. Literally, we're at war with, 7, maybe 8 countries right now? Oh, I know. We're not ground warring them. Not all of them. We're in Syria. We've got boots on the ground in Syria. Go look it up, folks. Special forces are on the ground in Syria. So we have boots on the ground. We have Air Force in the air over Syria. That is a war, folks. We are at war with Syria, and nobody declared it. Hillary Clinton's plan, just like Libya, topple it. And it's happening. And now Russia's had enough of this crap. I've had enough of this crap, and I'm not Russia. I don't like them doing this in my name. We have no business in Syria, not one single shred of business. Because we're in Syria, we've caused this massive refugee problem. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama have caused this massive humanitarian problem. Maybe they feel guilty and they want to bring him in. Maybe that's why. They feel terrible guilt for what they have done. Then let them too. Let those two put the money up out of their own pockets if they feel guilty about it. Or maybe it's just some greater plan. Maybe you've got to change the demographics of a country to stay in power. Because whether Donald Trump is for real or not, the people behind him are the silent majority. And they're tired of seeing their wealth. They're tired of seeing their hard work taken away from them and given to somebody else for no apparent reason. They're punished for working hard, while others are gifted things they don't deserve. Voting for Hillary is voting for war with Russia, higher taxes, single-payer health care, a destroyed economy, more bad trade deals like TTP. And if you don't remember what happened in the 90s when the Clintons were in office, do you remember Ruby Ridge? Do you remember Waco, Texas? We've already saw a little bit of that with Obama. He lets the people riot in Ferguson, in Baltimore. But he goes and kills Lavoy Finicum at a little refuge in Oregon. Do you remember that at the beginning of the year? Do you remember when federal authorities went into a little refuge up there in Oregon, and people were there protesting whatever they were protesting? We thought that was stupid. Believe me, there was a lot of us who were like, whatever, dude, it's stupid. But in that instance, the FBI, the state authorities, the federal authorities converged eventually and murdered Lavoy Finicum in cold blood. They didn't do that in Ferguson or Baltimore. I guess that wasn't as heinous as a thing. Burning down a city, destroying people's property isn't a big deal. But taking over a federal refuge because you're in protest of something, that's worth killing people over. Go ask B.O. So you see, we're headed down this road already. And there's only a short time left for everybody to make up their mind. Do they want more of the same? Because what more of the same means is you get an increased amount. More of the same. You don't get just the same, you get more of the same. Each time the elite puts somebody in power, the threat grows greater and greater. It doesn't remain the same. It grows greater and greater. Now we have a chance. There's 3 candidates there. You can pick anyone you want. You can pick anybody you want. If you're a liberal, you probably want Jill Stein. If you want real change and you're fed up with the system, you probably want Donald Trump. If you're scared to vote Republican, then you're going to vote Gary Johnson. He's the worst of the 3 now that I think about it. The worst of the 3 left. He seems to be a lot like Hillary, if you look at him. In fact, he supports Hillary. So now you're narrowed down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get rid of Gary Johnson. He's not a libertarian. So you got Jill Stein, who covers the progressives and the liberals. Everybody who was ripped off by the Bernie Sanders debacle, the rigging of the primaries against Bernie Sanders. You have Jill Stein, and you can make a major statement against the elite like you always say you want to do. Everybody else that don't believe in the progressive movement, the progressive side of things, you have one choice, actually. You have Donald Trump. He could be a red herring. He could be a plant. Or he could be his own man. We're going to find out. If the elite try to take him out, I would imagine that he is his own man. Anyways, folks, we're running late, so I got to go to break. Please check out all our new sponsors as we've added a few more to the rotation. And when we come back, we'll talk about even more stuff going on with the government and what we can do before the election. Stay tuned.
Don't think about touching that dial.
That would be a mistake.
The John LeBang Show will be right back after this.
That's guaranteed, man. Like some good Thai stick.
Check out the new book from Derek Shelmerdine,
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It tells the story of rock and roll from its roots right up until the mid-70s punk.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Not just the music, but also the events that shaped the music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
It includes the backgrounds to recording sessions, singles, album releases, births and deaths, epic concerts, and festivals.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Shelmerdine has made a painstaking effort to document pretty much every event that would prove significant in shaping popular music.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Purchase the book at www.rockandrollunraveled.com. Follow him at Twitter at R&R Unraveled, and look him up on Facebook at Rock and Roll Unraveled.
Rock and Roll Unraveled.
By author Derek Shelmerdine.
Available now.
You know, if you're getting married soon and you need good entertainment, you need to contact John LeBang. He's got 30 years of experience of wedding entertainment under his belt, and there is no one better and no one cheaper. He's running a special to the end of the year, $500 for your wedding if you book now. Contact John LeBang by email at jlebang@live.com or go to his website. That's www.jlebang.com.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
Forces of darkness, the treasonable minds who collaborate, must can and will be wiped from the face of the earth.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So while during the break we were tipped on a specific news story that's possibly breaking, and right now we're in the midst of trying to find out the details of what might be going on behind this news story. I don't want to say anything just yet, but this possibly could be a huge breaking story as regarding the Hillary Clinton Anthony Weiner case and the FBI reopening her part of the investigation. So we've got some people on this right now, and I'm hopefully within a few minutes, maybe by the end of this hour, I'll be able to report to you some more details on, and maybe even report to you what this is what this is about. But it looks probably earth-shattering if this is true. It's amazing. But I don't want to say anything yet, so we're just going to hold off for a little while, make sure we're good on the facts. Outside of that, a few other things that we are going to have to consider if you are going to vote for Hillary is, do you really want this person in charge of the country for the next 4 years, if not 8? And the way the American people have been allowing presidents to stay in office, the trend is 8 years. Sure, they have to go through an election to get, do a second term. Man, I would almost think that I'd want to get rid of that somehow if it were me. Get rid of the 2-term presidency and maybe just have them do one term of like 5 years. Or 6 years. How's that? We'll split the difference. One term of 6 years and be done with these guys. And we can get rid of them before they do anything. We don't have to go through an election. So we get to see how they act right away, and we have some time to impeach them. Get them out of there. I don't know. Maybe that's a dumb idea. Just came off the top of my head.
It's on Reddit. People are talking about it on Reddit.
This story looks good, guys, eh?
John, I guess it's going big on Twitter as well, so things are starting to pick up out there. Looks like it's what we're talking about, John. Very good chance it's hitting the news pretty soon.
All right, well,
keep you informed.
I'm just getting some more information about this. Just hopefully I'll be able to say this is something for real here shortly. Let's lay out some more evidence on why you, as the Democrat voter, should not even be considering Hillary Clinton. Hillary.
Investment Watchdog's talking about it as well as the Conservative Treehouse. So it's getting around the internet right now, folks.
What's that, guys?
Godlike Productions is talking about it, so it's getting around.
I'm sorry, folks. We're getting more information coming in, and I'm just trying to make sure we're all good on this before I tell you about it.
It's definitely on Twitter.
All right. Well, getting back to the election while I'm being distracted, and I apologize for that. The thing with Anthony Weiner right now that we know so far is that his phone was used in connection to something that went on with Hillary. Apparently, either he and Hillary were in contact about something. I don't know if it was sexting or if it was something more important. There is talk that it had classified information on it, so I would imagine that it probably wasn't sexting unless they classified Anthony's wiener as, classified. But Anthony never considered his wiener as classified, so I don't see why it would be like him sexting anything to Hillary. So there are some speculations that Huma Abedin, I believe that's how you pronounce her name.
Now they're talking about it on YouTube, John.
Was the one who was doing the actual texting, like she borrowed his phone or something. So it's apparent that Huma is at the center of all this. She is Hillary Clinton's top aide. So if she's Hillary Clinton's top aide, and Anthony, I like to spank my wiener, for anybody who's watching, had communications with Hillary, and if it wasn't actually him, then maybe because this probe that is happening on Anthony, maybe he went to the FBI and said, hey, you cut me some slack? You going to cut me a deal? Look what I've got. Because maybe Uma forgot to delete the text. I'm not sure. We're speculating at this point. But why would the FBI reopen an investigation into Hillary unless they had no choice in the matter? They had to do it. So I suspect that whatever has come from the Anthony Weiner investigation, it might be Anthony Weiner who said, you guys cut me some slack, I've got some dirt on Hillary. And the dirt might be so big that there's no way Comey can hide it like he did before. No way he can pass that information and say, oh, it was just her being negligent. It wasn't, she wasn't doing anything on purpose. This seems to be something that might be headed in the direction of Anthony had really big info on his phone. Maybe it was transferred to Uma via this phone, maybe to hide something. These things, why would Hillary and Uma use Anthony's phone? That's the big question mark. So either Anthony Weiner was showing off his stuff to Hillary and they were sexting together and passing information together, or Uma, if it was Uma who used the phone to contact Hillary or to reply to Hillary, that seems to me like we're trying to hide something. Just saying.
It's on Reddit. People are talking about it on Reddit.
We're continuing on our trail to break you this news.
Looks like it's what we're talking about, John. Very good chance it's hitting the news pretty soon.
It's not hit the mainstream media yet, but it is being reported on a lot of credible sites, at least sites that I would consider credible. We use these sites time and again to relay information to you.
John, I guess it's going big on Twitter as well, so things are starting to pick up out there. I'm pretty sure it's a go, John. I'd say go with it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so we're going to go this far. The information that we're talking about is relating to Uma herself. It's being reported that she is no longer on the campaign trail with Hillary. Something has gone down now. It could just be that she was tied closely, because of her husband being investigated, and now Hillary being investigated again for a second time. They're reopening her case. That maybe there's some kind of connection there and they went their separate ways. Yeah, it's gone to the point where we believe, we're still checking on this, so we're going to take this as a rumor up until this point, but it's coming from a lot of credible sources that Uma is seeking immunity from the FBI, and she's maybe ready to turn state's evidence. Is that possible? I'm not saying that's 100% accurate, but we're feeling pretty confident through the people that are reporting this that it's very possible, with Uma not being on the campaign trail any longer with Hillary. She was holed up just, I think it was yesterday, this past weekend, we'll say. She was holed up in her hotel or in her place in New York, not with Hillary. And now it looks like it's possible that she may be trying to get some kind of immunity deal from the FBI, which would mean something big might be coming down on Hillary real soon. Now, I suspect the Republicans who were really pushing hard over the past few months to try to get any of this information that was supposedly not credible enough to indict Hillary by the FBI, and they were having these hearings investigating and having questioning of all these government agents and government officials, a few of which pleaded the Fifth Amendment, including our good friend up there at the Department of Justice, Loretta Lynch mob. She pleaded the Fifth Amendment just recently. That, of course, has to do with the Iranian deal and us giving up millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to the Iranians, because your money the government needs to pay off the Iranians. You don't need the money, but the government does, to pay off the Iranians to get some hostages back. So apparently Uma is off the campaign trail, and it sounds like, and we're not ready to say it's for sure, so don't go crazy with this yet, folks. Hopefully we'll be able to give you 100% confirmation this is true by the end of the hour. If we can't, please go to our Facebook page. That'll be the page that we actually give you the full details on what might be going on at this point. We got to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. Got to pay some bills. Check out our sponsors. Again, we have plenty of new ones, so please check them out. And when we come back, a little more on my plea with the Democrats who are thinking of voting for Hillary to not vote for her and go somewhere else. And then we're going to bring Shady in and play some cool or uncool.
Hey, don't touch that dial. The John LeBang Show will be right back. I promise.
Fans, do you need a video for your brand new song but don't have a lot of money? Then contact John LeBang. His reasonable rates, professional look, and fast turnarounds will help get that song off the ground. Contact him at jlebang.com. If you want to call into the John LeBang Show, just dial 313-444-8919 or send us an email at jlebang@live.com, or you could just join the chat room at the station you're listening to. Banger.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final little segment. We're still trying to track down more information about this. We may head into a after session after this show. We may head over to YouTube there and start a live stream there and continue to see if we can find out more information and bring it to you as live as possible. But the rumors are going about that Huma's gone for a reason. We'll just say that, and it's definitely because she's the link between Hillary Clinton and Anthony's wiener. And obviously this investigation that has now brought the Clinton mafia crime group back into the spotlight, it shows that we're maybe facing an interesting last 8 or 10 days of the election here. It's going to be crazy, because if enough of this information gets out to the mainstream population, this should affect the average voter. This should change the person who was on the fence with Hillary and maybe leaning more Hillary. Now this should change their opinion about Hillary and maybe swing them to Trump, or maybe that brings them into the third party. Maybe it just keeps them out of the election entirely. And that's what we got to worry about here. Is that it's possible that the people who were going to vote for Hillary are now going to feel disenfranchised and not want to participate once again. And I don't know if you've been hearing it, but we've had some audio difficulties these past few episodes. We're really tinkering with trying to figure out what the problem is, ladies and gentlemen. We're dealing with older equipment, and sometimes that results in harder fixes to the problem because you can't pinpoint where the problem is. So I apologize if we're not as loud as we used to be, or if we're coming in maybe staticky or something. Know that we're trying to fix this problem. It'd be nice if we got a giant influx of money, like if somehow we won the lottery or some great advertiser that wanted to advertise with us for about 5 years would pay in some big amount. But that's not happening as of this moment. We're still riding on, we'll say, fumes, because we're still the little guy. We're not some giant, well-off radio rock stars yet, but we're moving in that direction. And hopefully we'll be able to get that on course here. So, in the last few moments here before Cool or Uncool happens, I'm just going over the main topics that are on the web at this point. We've got to pay attention to the voting machines that are in, I think, 10 or 11 states that are owned by George Soros. We're going to have to watch those states. We're going to also, and this is, in my opinion, this is what I think every voter should do this election and maybe from here forward. And that is, as soon as you vote, you get a copy of how you voted, and you double check to make sure that your vote went the way that it's supposed to go. I think it's a diligent move. I think it's smart. And I think if we are to avoid any voter fraud, no matter which way it might happen, we have to do the diligent work and to make sure our vote not only counts, but it counts towards the people that we want it to count towards, and not the people that decide to set up their voting machines to switch things into certain directions. I think that's a big deal that we really have to pay attention to. Also, with only another week before the election, less than a week for some of you listening to this broadcast, go to my website, start listening to the archives, start educating yourself into what directions you need to do your research in. I point you in the directions. I'm not going to do all your research for you. I'm not that way. I'll point you in the directions if it's up to you to go do your own research and figure out which candidate best suits you. Now, if you want the power elite candidate, there's one person and one person alone. That's Hillary Clinton. If you don't want the elite, you have a choice of three. One might be a red herring, one's a complete waste of time, and the other one, at least, is a decent person, even though I don't agree with their policies. But it's your choice. Joan, you ready for Cool or Uncool? I thought you guys were going to the strip joint. We did. And you're back already? Oh, we didn't have any money. Not much fun then, is it? Not really. Do you have a Cool or Uncool? I wasn't ready for this. I've got a great one. Just give me an intro. All right, tonight's Cool or Uncool is Hillary going to jail. That is a pretty good one, Shady. I know it. Now you can email us your responses to jlebang@live.com, or you can just comment in the chat room. And if you want to call in, just dial 313-444-8919. And if we ain't answering, just hang on a minute. We might. Just let it ring. You want to keep letting it ring, because if you don't let it ring, we may not get to you. You know, there's a lot of people who's calling here. And if it's busy, well, then just keep calling back. That's all I have to say. All right, our first call is coming in from Montreal, Quebec. Wilfred, what say you?
Throw the bitches in jail!
Thanks for your call. One for the cools. Over to Austin, Texas. AJ, you're up next.
You know I know your mind. You know I know your deepest secrets. You know I've had enough of it.
Thanks for your call.
Why is that guy always so angry?
Maybe he's getting too much sun, Shady.
He's getting too much something.
We got an email here from Hillary. She says, uncool. The FBI is only picking on her because she's a woman.
Well, that's a load of crap.
Back over to the phones, where she's listening to us on Raw Talk Radio Online. Cora, you're up next.
I told you, Sonny! That's a goddamn woman is an idiot!
So are you saying cool?
I'm saying I hate your show!
Okay, thanks for your call.
That woman has some anger problems as well.
Well, it's the time, Shady. You know, everybody's so stressed out.
You sure? Maybe you just attract angry people.
No, I think it's the time, Shady. Everybody's all tensed up because so much is at stake.
Yeah, steak. That sounds good. What are we having for dinner anyways?
I don't know. You want some chicken wings?
Why'd you bring up steak?
I didn't bring up steak. I said add steak.
Well, I think steak sounds good.
Well, then have a steak.
But we don't have any.
Well, what do we have?
We got lots of tuna, John.
Boy, I'm getting sick of that.
I've been sick of that ever since my last wife, I'm telling you.
You've been saying that. Why?
I hated eating out. Now, can we get moving on here?
Listening to us on Alien X Radio in Detroit, Michigan, Abu, what say you?
Hello, John. Thanks for having me back on, yes?
What's up, Abu? Cool or uncool?
What? What do you mean cool or uncool? We playing this again?
Well, that's why we're having you call into the show, Abu.
Oh, I did not know. I thought we were just calling in to say hello, John.
You know, John, this guy just ruins radio for everybody.
So why are you calling in?
Oh, I would like to just say Happy Halloween, John.
Oh, that's right. It is Halloween weekend. We ain't even talking about Halloween here on the show.
Yes, I was wondering. You were not speaking Halloween, and usually you speak of things that are going on right now.
Well, we're talking about something going on right now.
Yes, but I don't care about that. I like the Halloween. Do you want to know what I'm dressed up as tonight?
Oh, God, please don't.
You're dressed up tonight?
Oh, I'm dressed up as Axl Rose, singing for AC/DC.
What does that costume entail?
Oh, I wear a kilt, and I have to wear a boot that is made to look like I broke my leg.
Do you know any AC/DC songs?
Oh, yes, I do.
Don't even encourage him.
Can you sing us one?
Oh, yes, hang on a minute.
John, why did you do this sort of thing?
It'll be
1,
fun.
2,
No,
3,
it won't.
4. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want.
You
All
love
you
singing,
know your
Shady.
names. We are the people that you find.
Telling you,
Wherever
this is
you may
killing your
need.
ratings.
If you got the money,
You really
honey,
think so?
we
This
got
is
your
funny as hell, I
disease.
think.
Oh, jungle.
I
Welcome
don't
to
know.
the jungle.
It's stupid as hell.
Yes.
Please hang up on me now.
Please.
All right. Thanks for your call.
Can I leave now? My stomach is rumbling.
You've been having a lot of problems with that lately.
Well, it's all that apple cider I've been drinking.
Well, it runs through you, huh?
You can say that again. I'll talk to you later.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for yet another 60 minutes of sonic vibrations known as
The John LeBang Show.
Give me about 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and then head over to my YouTube channel. We're going to do a live stream to continue coverage of this possible breaking news story. I'd like to thank all of my affiliate stations, from Detroit to the United Kingdom, Iowa to Chicago, New York to Canton, Ohio, Las Vegas, Tampa, and Amsterdam.
The Radio Revolution is coming through loud and clear.
Don't forget to go to my website. That's www.jlebang.com. Thank you all for listening, and until the vibrations of my vocal cords reach your ears again,
Tune in again
this
next
is
week.
John LeBang.
Same time,
I
same
am
space,
signing off.
same station.
Oh, man, my stomach is bothering me.
I think it was something in the chili.
Yes, think it has. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I just think it's the radio.
I don't understand.
That's because you don't listen.
I'm too busy with my Androbot.
How's that coming along, anyways?
Oh, we're almost fully functional now.
Great, because I'm just about out of teepee.
Oh, here.
Oh, sorry about that. Here comes the big one.